What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Alright, we're coming back to Galneryus. Yes, indeed, Galneryus Fans Feeling You. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all those clicks and those likes and the bibbity-bobbity-bob, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This is a request from Nightwish, CK, and Hisuka-chan. Hope I pronounced that name right. They all want to see me react to this song by Galneryus called Angel of Salvation. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a minute, hang on, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by VAP Official Music Channel. Okay. And the video has 4.6 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Galneryus, Angel of Salvation, official music video. Wah, wah, wah.
Damn it.
Whenever we see this word official, man, it doesn't matter what comes after it. Official music video, official audio, official lyric video, official live video, whatever. You see the word official and it comes off. I don't know if this is the band's record label's official page. I'm not sure, but in any case, you see that word official, the chances and the odds of the video getting blocked are going to be slightly higher. Now, I'm not saying the video is going to get blocked for sure. I'm just saying the chances and the odds of the video getting blocked are going to be a little bit higher. So we're going to hope for the best, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
何もかも信じられずにいたずらに解く
guessing we're going into a chorus or a pre-chorus here. Not 100% sure. We may have just heard the pre-chorus. I won't know for sure until we get through the first, like, probably first quarter of the song, if we've heard the pre-chorus yet or not. And that just comes down to phrasing. Like, they're doing a lot of modulations within their chordal flow. It's not switching key. They're not changing key signatures. It's just they're just modulating. They're getting off of, like, so they're in D, right? Okay, so they're D, or they go down to B, then they go down to A, and then they go down to G. But it's not. How should I put this? It's not happening within the chordal flow itself. It's, God, how do I describe this? I'm trying to think in layman's terms, like in simplified terms, as simple as possible. Okay, here's what it comes down to. They're not changing key. It sounds like they are. And when they're switching gear, I guess that's a good way to put it, they're switching gear and modulating to a new section. It sounds like they are changing key, but they're really not. It's just a transition to a new mode. And they're doing it well. Like, they're doing it really well. Deceivingly well. Like, it almost sounds like they're changing key, but I don't believe they are. I'm not hearing anything that leads me to believe that they're actually changing key. So I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. I think this is chorus. I'm not 100% sure about that, but maybe it is. Let's find out. Okay. All right. So that is the chorus. Okay. Now I'm starting to see the phrasing repeat itself. Now I'm starting to see the parts that repeat. Okay. So chorus. All right. Cool. No problem. Guitar solo, short guitar solo into the next phrase where they brought it way down and they had the piano. I don't know if I would go as far as saying piano interlude. I don't know if I would go that far because the vocals were still going over the top of it. No, it wouldn't be a piano interlude. It's just they brought it down dynamically. Yeah, that makes the most sense. So they brought it down dynamically. Pretty much everybody laid out. Piano kept going, obviously. And then 8 bars. think it was 8 bars later, band came back in, really good, very strategic, very smart. And now we're going into second chorus. Sounds good. Let's keep going. Let's see where this goes. Okay. Now the guitar solo is over and I can pause. Really nice guitar solo. It was very clean. It was well done. It was well executed. I mean, here's the thing, though. I know it's gonna sound like I'm nitpicking here, and I probably am, but I lost interest in the guitar solo about, I would say, about halfway through it. And the reason I lost interest in the solo is because, number one, it was a little long. Number two, along with it being a little long, it was very repetitious. It was the same thing over and over and over again. A lot of arpeggiations and a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. What else? What else can you do? You know, if that's it, it's fine. But then why do such a long solo if that's all you're gonna do is just hammer-ons and pull-offs and arpeggiations? That's literally it. So it's like, why bother doing such a long solo? If he had cut the solo in half, I would have been a lot happier. I mean, it was a fine solo. It was a really nice solo. It showed off his technique, and that's great, but there's more to guitar solos than just technique. You know, there's variations in technique. Like, okay, you're a master at arpeggiations. You're a master at sweep picking. Congratulations. So are hundreds, if not thousands, of other guitar players. What's going to make you stand out? You know what I mean? What's going to make this solo stand out from everything else? And within the solo itself, what's going to make this particular section of the guitar solo stand out from the rest of the guitar solo? I'll be honest with you, the most impressive part of the solo for me, the part that stood out, was that descending line where it's doing the hammer-ons and the pull-offs. That was... That part was going when he was doing that descending line. That, to me, was probably the most refreshing part of the solo, if not the most impressive. Because of the rest of the solo, it was just sweep pick arpeggiation, sweep pick arpeggiation. And it's just like, what else is there that you can do? Show us something else. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I wasn't thrilled with that guitar solo. Like I said, I lost interest about halfway through it. I was just like, okay, I'm over it. Let's move on. I'm more impressed with the chordal flow. What's happening within the chordal flow behind them? Switching between those major and minor modes, just constantly flipping without changing key. Now I'm starting to wonder if there are some actual key, not accidentals, but some actual key changes happening. I wonder if there are, because if there aren't, then there are a ton of accidentals happening. I don't know. It would be easier just to switch key. Maybe. I don't know. I would have to see the score. I would have to see the sheet music before I could, say with 100% certainty that that's what happened, because I honestly don't know. It sounds good. I like what's happening within the chordal flow. I like the direction that the chords are moving and where they're going towards. And the constant changing in chord is nice, but I don't know if it's accidental or if it's actual key change. Not 100% sure. Anyway, let's finish this out and we'll get to the review. Fading, are we? We're fading. Man. Pulling a fade. Ugh. It's funny because the song itself they've got so many grandioso parts, so many impactful, powerful parts. You would think they would take those opportunities to just and use those parts to lead up to a strong, solid, final ending instead of pulling a fade. Shoot. Let me think about this. I need to think about this. There's a lot I need to take into consideration. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Galneryus with Angel of Salvation. This was a request from Nightwish, CK, and Hisuke-chan. Hope I pronounced that right. Man, I thought about this. I did. And after taking everything into consideration, I do have a score. It's quite a bit different than my reaction to the first Galneryus song that I did. It's quite a different score. But I have my reasons for giving it, and I promise you I will give you my reasons why. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that an 8.4. Yep. 8.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. Let's get the bad stuff out of the way. Let's just get this out of the way. The song was long. And if I'm being honest here, it felt long. It did. The time did not fly by like it did on the first one. This was over 7 minutes long, and yeah, it felt like it was about 7 minutes and some odd seconds long. It felt exactly like it was. The guitar solo. If I'm being honest, I was not thrilled with it. It sounded good, don't get me wrong, and like I said, the first half was cool. I dug it. All the way up to that descending line. Once they did the descending line with those hammer-ons and pull-offs, once they got past that, it was just more of the same. More of the same, more of the same, more of the same. And it's like, okay, what else can you do? You know, I know this guy can do more. I know he can. I've seen him do more. In the first reaction I did to Galneryus, I've seen him do more. This just felt very repetitive. And to be perfectly honest with you, the second half of the guitar solo felt completely unnecessary. Like it wasn't needed. They could have cut that solo in half and thus taken a whole minute off of the song. I think I would have preferred that, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, it was a fine guitar solo. It showed off what he was doing. Was impressive. It was, okay. A lot of great arpeggiations, a lot of great sweep picking. The hammer-ons and pull-offs were nice. They were clean. I could dig them. I could absolutely appreciate them. But it just felt very repetitive. And to be honest with you, unnecessary. The vocals at times sounded strained. They sounded pinched when he would go up high. Now, you know, there's a lot of other vocalists that do that too. When they go up high, they sound pinched, and it's not a slam against any of them. It's just I've also heard other vocalists who will go up high like that, and they don't sound pitched. I just prefer that vocal style a little bit more. When it does sound thin, when it does sound pinched, I'm not the biggest fan of it. But he hit the right notes. He was hitting the right notes. He was hitting them accurately. It was strong. It was projected. It just sounded pinched. So. Wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it sounded really good though. That's the stuff I wasn't a big fan of. Okay, now everything else, perfectly fine with. The songwriting, very much like the first reaction I did to Galneryus. The songwriting, big time shades of Dream Theater, early Dream Theater, like images and words Dream Theater. When you hear all the transitions within the chordal flow, you hear the transition from chord to chord to chord, all fitting within the key signature. It's fantastic. I dig that because it's movement, it's motion. It keeps the song from sounding stale. Like if you could do the exact same thing and just stay on the root the whole time. So, you know, you're in D, right? You're in D, and then you go down to B, and then you stay on B the whole time. And then you're going to transition to G, and then you stay on G the whole time. Then you transition to C, and you stay on C the whole time. It would work. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I've heard a lot of bands do it, and it works, but at the same time, it gets old. It gets old very quickly. It gets stale. Predictable almost. This was not predictable. I mean, you could feel that there was going to be movement. You could feel that it was going to change, but you weren't always 100% sure what chord it was going to change until you pick up on the pattern. Once you saw the pattern, the chordal structured pattern, like we're going, okay, they did this before. They went from D down to B, down to G, up to C. Okay, once you catch on to the pattern, you're set. But it's still not going to be stagnant. It's still not going to be boring. It's still not going to be, you know, how the best way to describe it is lazy. It's not going to be lazy. It's going to be constantly moving around, keeping the listener invested, keeping the listener involved, and keeping the listener's attention, which was probably the biggest part about this song. I never lost interest in the song except during the guitar solo. The rest of the song I never lost interest in. Some great usage of layering, some great usage of dynamics. even tempo, when we got to the slower part towards the end, when they slowed it down, that felt good. It felt like they were ending. It felt like the ending was coming. And you could feel that it was coming. I was not a fan of the fade. I was really hoping, because they had this big, grandioso song, and then they slowed it down, the tempo, just enough to show that this is the end. Okay, great. Then give us a solid ending. Don't pull a fade. If they play this song live, I'll bet you that they have a great ending for it, and I wish I could have heard that. As far as instrumentation goes, drumming was great. I dug the drumming. The guitar playing was fantastic. Even the solo, as redundant as it was, even the solo was impressive. Listen, sweep picking is impressive. There's no doubt about it, okay? But I would like to see what else he can do, because I know he can do more. The bass playing sounded solid. I could actually hear the bass in the mix. I was very appreciative of that. The keyboards in the mix sounded really good, filling out the sound. Very much appreciated, especially during the guitar solos that were happening, really helping to fill out the sound there. Vocally, like I said, for the most part, I dug what he was doing. I would say about 95% of what he did, I was a big fan of. It's just when he would go to those high notes, it just got a little pinchy, and I was like, you know. But the good news is it didn't stay there for long. He would come down pretty quickly, so that's good. As far as the strings go, I know we saw string players in the video, but I don't know if those strings were real. If I'm being honest with you, I think the strings were actually either Pro Tooled or possibly keyboard. The guy, it looks like he plays Roland's, and they have some really nice patches, especially when you interface with the computer with if you get the Pro Tools sound library and import it into your computer. You can get some really nice string patches. So I don't know if those strings were real on the track or not. I'm not 100% sure. They didn't sound real. They didn't sound real to me. They sounded digital. So I'm not sold on those strings being real or not. But overall, great song. Great song. Not, in my opinion, not as good as the first reaction I did to Galneryus. I think the first reaction I did to Galneryus was far more impressive. And I think a part of that is the fact that what I saw from them the first time was live. If I had seen them do this live, would this have impressed me more? Probably. If I'm being honest here, it probably would have impressed me more if I had seen this and heard it live. But you know, maybe they don't play the song live. That's a very strong possibility. Listen, whenever you record an album, that doesn't mean you're going to play everything from the album, you know, during live shows. That's not the case. You're going to pick, depending on how many albums you have. If you have like 2 or 3 albums, well, yeah, you're going to be picking quite a few songs from each album, obviously. If you have like 7 or 8 albums, well, then you have a lot to choose from, and you can pick 2 from this album, 1 from that album, 2 from this album, 3 from that album, you know, 1 from that album, and the pickings are a lot more available to you to make those decisions and make those choices. So they may never play this song live. I don't know. I have no clue. You guys would have to cue me in on that, whether they do play the song live or not. It strikes me as a song that could be played live really well, too. I have a feeling this song would go over really well in a live setting, but you know, I could say that about a lot of songs from a lot of bands, and they never play them live. So anyway, no, 8.4, it's a great score. I know it's significantly lower than the first score I gave. I know I gave the first song I did a reaction to from Galneryus. I know I gave it up in the 9s. It was a low 9. It was like 9.1 or 9.2 or 9.3. It was one of those, but I don't remember which one it was exactly. But I remember it was up in the 9s. I know this is significantly lower, and if I'm being honest with you, there's a reason for that, and the reason is I just wasn't as impressed with this song as I was with the first one. Look, not every song is going to be impressive. That's just reality. This song was impressive. It was, but it wasn't as impressive as the first one. Plus, the first one was done in a live setting, so I got to take that into consideration as well. Now, 8.4, it's a great score. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So, 8.4, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.